This is where chaos meets design. This is football. Welcome to Scheme Guide's Run and Shoot install series for College Football 26. In real football, spring install is the foundation. The coordinator lays out the full offense, then watches how players adapt. You learn what your quarterback sees, which concepts your receivers execute cleanly, and which part of the playbook will shape your in-season identity. On the virtual gridiron, things work a little differently. It's not about player ability, it's about how defensive logic is coded into the game, how your route structure stress the coverage rules written into the AI. Some plays succeed because they exploit how defenders react inside the engine. Others fall flat, not because they're bad football, but because the game doesn't handle them the way the field would. That's why we do a spring install every year. Same philosophy, different environment. We test every concept in the run and shoot, not just to teach the system, but to learn how CFB26 responds to it. Today, we start with the vertical backbone of the offense: streak, true streak, and switch. And we're going to see how these plays stretch coded coverages, attack depth, and hold up against real user reads in your online Dynasty. Good old streak. Streak is the first play I would install if I was installing the run and shoot, because it touches on so much of what the whole rest of the offense is going to be. You have your built-in blitz break on the first read. You're reading a safety and then reading across, basically, as routes pass into your vision, which is just great design. You have the inside streak read, which is going to influence a dozen other plays in your playbook. So you install it once here, and then you can get access to all these extra plays. And then you have the outside streak read. And what's so great about those two reads is every receiver has to be able to master both of those routes. So you're going to accomplish that with this, and that also unlocks for you switch, which is the best play in the universe. But if you had a team where for whatever reason you only had two guys that were really good at the outside streak read, then maybe you don't install switch. But yeah, streak is great. It kind of touches on everything. The quarterback will half roll to the right, and then you just, like I said, you kind of keep your eyes on that first safety to the front side of the play. You're going to see how he's going to react. He's going to tell you if he comes down, then maybe you have a shot at one high. And if you notice that, one is manned up and he's running to the sideline, you can just dump it off. Or if you just see him cut out, you can just dump it off automatically, and it's an easy check down. So, I mean, that right there is great on the front side. And then on the back side, you have a route combination that can attack safeties and leverage really well. In game, this is what streak looks like. You have that locked seam, which can break out 1. You have the inside streak read 2, and you have the outside streak read 3. You're just really going to read it right across. One thing I really don't like about how they do streak this year is that it's really more of a seam read than that inside streak read that can break across or go straight down the pipe. Instead, it is a seam or a post. In the end, that's probably why I'm going to like switch more than streak. So your eyes are going to be looking at that safety right there between the hashes. So here's what it looks like on the field. With your eyes aimed in between kind of A and that safety, reading how that safety is going to play it, looking for A to run out on that quick out if it is a blitz. And then you scan to the left. That simple. That Z over there is just there in case as an alert. This was recorded with San Jose State's offense, so they have no speed. This is kind of how I had it set up and who I had where. And the first play we're going to be looking at is streak against cover 1 hole. So my eyes are over there between the safety and the apex defender. He doesn't run out. He's running with him. This is man. Now, if you have a real speed difference here, this can be killer. But I somehow got it up and over. I don't even know how I did that. Against 1 blitz, there's no one robbing the middle. So that post becomes viable, but he comes across on that blitz break, and that's your first read. It's easy. I'll be there all day. Against 3 match, it's going to pretty much play cover 1, but with slightly different shading. Outside and up is kind of taken away on that side, and I got sacked. And see, that's kind of why that's a 3 for me. I got a lot of sacks. If you could get it off, it might be an okay play, but I would not hang my hat on that kind of play. You got another straight out on the fire zone, and now with cover 3, no one's open, and the outside streak read just curls, which I don't think makes much sense because the curl flat just sits on him. That's useless. So that's really bad. 4 drop is way better. This is what I wish it did against 3 sky. It should cross across, and you can just throw between the zones. Of course, what would be better is having an actual inside streak read that runs the in against cover 3 zone and 4 zone. Anyways, cover 4 quarters. Now, you have everything kind of stacked up on top of that lock seam. Looks pretty locked up. I don't see anyone wide open. But I am one-on-one across the board. If you have a mismatch, you can go for it. I think versus a user, that would be picked. So I do not trust that at all. But potentially there. You have the guy running across on the outside streak read. Oh, and that guy's going to rob it. So not good against quarters. Don't worry, there's a play later that is. Against palms, it's broken. So this is going to be rated really high. I went with an 8 because you could miss the throw, actually. It's not the easiest throw to make, and I overthrew it quite a bunch of times on Revamped. It might do better on Classic, so lab it before you go out there trying to trot it out. I was told by someone at the studio, can't say who, can't divulge my sources, that it is not happening in the current build of the game that they have, which is a few weeks ahead. So I think probably after the next big patch, it's probably already gone. But for now, it's there. Cover 6. So everyone's stacked up on top of my first street. I'm going to come across and see why. And yeah. They clear out on the other side, and you only have a deep half that's playing kind of over and outside on it. So that post will be there. That's why it's a solid 5. You do have to hold on to it a minute, and you could take a sack while you're waiting to hit that big, nice hit. I probably could have gotten that out, but it was really close. Cover 9. Not really seeing anyone. Oh, no, one-on-one over the middle. Yay, but again, you gotta take forever to get there. If you have to hold on to the ball 4 seconds to make the play work, that's not ideal. It should be out faster than that. Why? Over the middle? No. The lock seam. Against 2-man. A is open. Probably could have thrown that earlier, but that works. Solid gain. The problem with 2-man is just if their guy is better than your guy on that down. If it's in general, then they're going to be right on the down more often than they're not. But if they're better on the down regardless, they can screw up the play for you. Double bracket's actually really viable. Every time I've seen it, it's been pretty good. You got to find the 2 guys that are one-on-one, and then you have to hope one of them breaks open. You could easily take a sack. You get your blitz break, you get the ball out. You can try and go for this post, but you're going to take so long. You need your blocking to hold up. It's not reliable. Just throw it out. You see him breaking, you don't even need to read it. If you see him breaking out, just throw it. So now there's True Streak. True Streak is a lot fewer options. It's pretty much 4 verticals. It should have that blitz break too by number 1, but it doesn't. So we're going to pretend like that doesn't exist. But 3 on the outside out there is the X receiver is on just a 9 route. Number 2 inside of him there is that inside is a True Streak read. It used to be called a seam read, but now they call it just a True Streak read. You'll notice it's just basically 4 verticals. They do have the running back on that little route. I like to keep it because it gives you at least another option if you do run this play against 2-man and some of those kind of things. But you're basically going to read it the same way. You're going to read the guy over the middle, and then 1, 2, 3. You're just going to have less conversions going on. So it pretty much just sturdies everything up. You can do this more if you are not sure on the option routes at first, but it can be wrong a lot more often. But sometimes there's instances where it's better off. We'll look at that at the end of this video. We're going to have an overview where we look at all the grades. So yeah, it's pretty bad against cover 1. I mean, just it kind of gets bagged. If you have way better athletes than the corners you're facing, especially speed-wise, then, you know, maybe that slot gets open. You just pick the one opposite the safety. But that is not a reliable thing to have happen. At least with the blitz version, you're not going to have anyone robbing. Oh, you would if you blocked your back. So make sure you don't do that. You definitely want him to run the route on this version. And you can always dump it off to him. I could have probably done it there, but it maybe wasn't enough time. Against 3 match, it's pretty much going to play out the same. I'm going to throw opposite the safety, but that safety's still going to get there. It's just, the problem with the seam is it runs inward instead of staying up that high school hash like run and shoot, you know, streak play and go and other routes do. And because it leans in, they both end up running right towards. If you're going to do it, you could just manually re-streak the slots. That's an option. I'm toying with the idea if I run streak at 8, I'm just going to manually hot route that option route since the inside streak read isn't in the game. Yeah, just another one where maybe if I had way better players. You can see how that safety's kind of flat-footed against him. So I'm definitely looking to throw it to him. I don't know why I threw it so far outside. I guess I was just trying to stay away from the safety, but yeah, you can try hitting this fast to the flat, to the seam, but it's not super consistent for me. You may be able to find a way to just auto shoot it in there, but I found I threw more picks when I threw that blindly, and you almost have to throw that blindly against 3. It's pretty similar with 4 zone. Against quarters, this was pretty good in the beta, and it isn't now, so I don't know what that means, but the right side should clear out for that guy to post across, but he didn't post. Everyone just ran straight ahead. So I don't know why. That's a perfect time for him to cut across there, but he didn't. And, sacks and getting pressured. No one's open. Everyone's just running straight forever. You have no one to throw to. That needs to get patched. EA. The good news is that Palms actually defends regular 4 verts great. It's just streak that it struggles with. And as we'll get to later, it also happens with switch because they have the same front side. There you go. You see how great that is when the guy posts and the other side is cleared out. One side is cleared out, and there he posts. The other guy over there, beautiful. And that's really where you're going to see true streak shine is against cover 2 structures. It absolutely wrecks them. That being said, cover 9 with it to the field handles it a lot better. So if you're going to run some form of half quarters, half 2, it's not a bad idea necessarily to put the 2 side to the field. Especially if on the hash. Oh, that's beautiful. Run, Forrest, run. And yeah, you can kind of get that out there consistently. I like that hole shot is actually viable. It isn't every year. So, I mean, the big thing here with 2-man is you're going to try and get the guy over the middle, but watch out for that middle linebacker who, if that's a user, he might be picking that off instead of that being open. So, something to be mindful of. You could get a guy on the outside beating his press and getting downfield, but those safeties really play the sideline pretty strong, at least on default. Maybe if you change their alignment, that's different, but on the default layout, at least. Double bracket is always interesting because two of these guys are going to get doubled and two are going to be singled. You got to figure out who, and then they got to get open. And see, that was there, but wasn't an easy throw. And against zero, you have nothing. You have no blitz break. You got to hope for that guy there to... Yeah, that's rough. Now, the version I like a little bit better is the 3x1 version. So let's look at true streak out of trips. You're going to have your little alert over there. You're only going to really look if he's pressed and he beats someone immediately. And then you have your 1, 2, and that's really it. You're going to pretty much throw to one of them. If not, it's find the first guy that's open and scramble drill. We're going to start out with cover 1 hole. And one thing you'll see instantly is just there's a lot more space over here to work with. We're going to be on the other hash too for this. You always want the trips to the boundary. At least that's what I found. Gives that route way more room to kind of work and just stretch the defense. Against these 1 structures, there's going to be no overhang to the left. So that gives you really the underneath area a lot of open grass to attack. Now with 3 match, there will be a flat defender that's over there, and he's going to back up and kind of be in the way of that route a lot more. You still will be able to get around him sometimes, depending on the leverage and the geometry at play. But you're going to end up getting this guy leveraged open more too. Sure would have helped to have a guy that was faster in the slot. But expanding on this idea is how you get to plays like divide. But that will be for a different video. So one common tactic is to put that guy all the way on the left, that's your alert route, onto a comeback. In theory, that can hold the deep third over there and get you even more space for that crosser. It also gives you another option against really good man coverage. And that's really what I used it more for. But you're really just trying to see where's the safety going to go? Where can he get to? And where can I put the ball where he can't, but my receiver can? A lot of this is just dividing the safeties between your 2 slots. But you always have this underneath guy there. That running back is so open there. But so is that. Yeah, this is much better than the 2x2 version if you have to run one. The 2x2 version is really good against cover 2. But if you aren't trusting option routes in general, this is going to be a decent play to kind of cut your teeth on this concept. And you have that right there. The reason it's a 4 is it's not always there. He just gets jammed out into the no man's land, and then I get sacked, and no one came open. It could be there, though. That's why I didn't put it lower, but there he's getting jammed out again on this play. But on this one, you have more options back here, and you just split the safeties and run it to pay dirt. And that did happen at a pretty high rate. Not necessarily the touchdown, but just him coming open over the middle. You also have this guy there underneath. And that's so great is that he's right in your eyesight. There he is again. Yeah, that's a solid play. Plenty of options, plenty of places to go with the ball, pretty much. I could have thrown to A already and squeezed it in there, I think. But waiting, you get access to that right there to the post over the top of the crosser. That safety's kind of flat-footed to that crosser. And the crosser's got space, but couldn't quite make it. And that's the problem with that. Sometimes you're just going to be throwing these prayers and hoping that, you just put it somewhere where the defense isn't going to be able to steal it. It's almost like an arm punt. There you go with that again. There's something so satisfying about that vertical, hitting that whole shot. Man 2 under. And it converts to that post, and no one came open in time. Running back is all stuck in the line, but I do have that crosser coming open over the middle. But your guys just gotta have to beat the other guy. It's man to man, man up, posting over the middle. But oh, that came open. Nope, almost came open. I like having guys with good release outside and good catch and traffic in the slots. Ideally, all of them over 94 speed, but that may be dreaming big in this year's game. With it seems like there's a lot slower players and speed development is a lot harder. But that's the dream. Okay, switch. So the front end is exactly the same. The only difference is on the back side of streak. 1 and 2 are swapping X and H there in this instance. But you read it the exact same. All of these plays are read the same exact way for the quarterback. So with streak, true streak, and now with switch, you're just reading from
right to left.
Or in the case of 3x1, left to right. But yeah, you're just reading across the field. It's pretty easy. You read the safety. Easy peasy. The front end on the game is exactly the same. The back end, slightly different. And I like these versions better. But you're going to start over there still. You're going to be eyeing that safety over the middle and 1. See what happens over there. Your eyes come to 2. And then finally you have 3. And that will break across more this year than it did last year. It will sit down sometimes. So do not throw that route before he is committed to what he's doing. Really with all option routes. Let them tell you what they're doing before you throw it. Don't throw it too fast. That wheel will get you if you're used to throwing wheels fast. Run the static version of switch in that case. You can get those wheels, especially if you have a guy that's fast and you get him one-on-one. I have a slow slot.
If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that, this is a pretty good video and to recommend it to other people.
Got that guy coming over the middle, and that is going to be where the ball is going to go a lot. You still have your blitz breaks on the front side, though. He's vertical. I'm coming across. He kind of got jammed. I almost got sacked, but he came open over the middle. Huge play.
Now, when it is man-to-man over there, what's really going to determine if you throw the wheel or the dig is going to be who beats their man.
That safety has to go back and cover the deep streak on the right, and that opens up space underneath him.
Fire zone.
So he's running out, dump it off. Three sky. Now remember how I didn't like how the outside streak read just sat down. Here he's going to do it again. But that route came open. That's the difference. That inside streak read pretty much always is there. You can get it into his hands. And then it's just on your guy to hold on to it.
Kind of makes me mad how good the switch version is, because the inside streak read will actually run across. You need to have that just all the time. And streak, that's what makes streak not as good.
Against match quarters.
So they're stacking up on top of your locked seam. Eyes come over to the switch side, and it just find the best matchup.
There you go with the wheel. Almost. It was still a 75-yard play. There he is. Quarters killer. That wheel is really good against quarters. And then palms, you still have the issue on the other side of the formation. That safety's the only guy kind of on him, and he gets so far behind and out of position, he just gets toasted every single time. But you still have that too. So once that gets patched, you're still going to have your guy over the middle, Mr. Reliable, over there on your inside streak read. And he's just going to go over the middle, but I didn't have time. That's always the issue. This is a deep hitting play, and it takes a little longer to do than streak does. Ideally, streak should attack a lot of the same space, but a little quicker. You sacrifice a little bit of that quickness to run the switch release. Reasons EA, we need to get that inside streak read added into the game in gun spread and pistol spreads version of streak. Yeah, no one was really open there. That was double covered. You got to be careful not to throw those. Probably go to A right between the middle. Yep. Ooh, they both closed in though. Probably should have thrown that a little earlier. Or thrown it to him. Against 2-man.
Smash that like.
Doing a little half roll. Get it out at the last second. Right over the middle. Double bracket. Front end is bracketed. You might be able to hit B out there, but the one-on-one's going to be the wheel. And there he is. Pinch blitz, or cover 0. Just get it out. And sometimes when you just get it out there like that, you make one guy miss and it's to the house. In that case, just one guy holds a block. So I charted all the plays that I logged, and you can see switch is easily the best for almost every situation. If you're seeing a lot of 2 zone, you might want to go with 2x2 all go. And, you know, if you're seeing a lot of 4 drop, you might want to go with regular streak and hit it over the middle between these 2 linebackers. And if you happen to get 0 blitz, I like streak a little bit better. If you like this visual, well, I'm going to have a whole guide full of them for the whole playbook available on my Patreon. You should definitely check it. The link is in the description. But, you know, don't click that link. You don't want to do it. I'm telling you, whatever you do, don't click the link. Or the link that goes to my Discord. You definitely don't want to click that link either. So whatever you do, don't hit that link either. Oh, and you definitely don't want to hit the link to my Run and Shoot Facebook.
You can smash that like and ring that bell. Subscribe, it's free and it feels so swell. Don't let that link go low. Shine it, yeah, let it go. You'll thank us later, I have no doubt. Just don't you click